Have you ever wondered how to keep track of your financial independence journey? In this video, we're going to cover some key milestones for both your mindset and your money. Hi, welcome back to MyFi Map, the one-stop shop for your financial independence journey. My name is Chris, and I'm here to teach you everything that you need to know about financial independence, from budgeting to investing to automating your money and more. If that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss a thing. We're in the middle of a series on the path to financial independence. If you haven't seen the previous videos, click the card to get caught up. As I've said before, financial independence is about both your mindset and your money. Yes, it's about having a certain amount of money invested, and yes, it's about having a certain level of passive income, but it's about so much more than that. It's called financial independence. It's also called financial freedom. It's about having the ability to do what you want when you want, whether that's quitting the job that you hate or starting a passion project on something that you love. It could be spending time with the people that you care about most or traveling around the world doing whatever you want. It's about not having to stress about money or worry about being confined to a hyper-frugal budget if that's not what you want. And that's where milestones come in. When you're traveling someplace, we use landmarks and milestones to let us know how far we've gone and how much further we have to go. When I'm going up to visit my parents, I know that I'm a little bit over halfway when I pass a certain In-N-Out burger, and I know that I'm almost home when I get hit by that wave of just garlic scent in the air. I might be bored or tired or sick of driving, but when I reach those landmarks, when I pass those milestones, I'm reinvigorated and excited and just ready to continue my journey. That's what your financial independence milestones are for. Financial independence is a long journey, and it's hard and requires a lot of discipline and sacrifice. Frankly, it can be really tough. It's easy to get demotivated and stressed out and just be sick and tired of feeling confined to this budget. But when you realize that you just turned in your last student loan payment, or that your side hustle is finally profitable, it reinvigorates you, breathes new life into you, and spurs you on towards the next milestone. One of the key tenets of financial independence is that it's deeply personal. It's shaped by our own individual hopes and dreams and fears. The problem with that is we can't just look to the next person and see how we're measuring up in our financial independence journey, because they might not be going where we're going. We each need to develop our own milestones to help us gauge our progress on our own journeys. The good news is that there are some key things that are common in most financial independence journeys. We're going to spend the rest of this video breaking down what some of those are. This won't be a comprehensive list, but hopefully it'll help you out as you brainstorm your own key milestones. To help you out, I'm going to try to include milestones for people that are just starting out or for people that are much further along in their financial independence journeys. First, let's dive into the mindset milestones. A lot of these milestones are going to feel like maybe they belong more in the money category or vice versa. I categorize them in the way that felt right to me, but feel free to change things up as you're going through and creating your own milestones. The first milestone is positive cash flow. This is when you're finally making more money than you're spending each month. To some of you, this might seem like it's way too elementary to even be a milestone, and that's okay. But if you haven't reached this point yet, this is the first milestone, and this is the foundation to everything in financial independence. This positive cash flow is what's going to allow you to save up your emergency fund, to set aside money for investing, and to begin building toward that financial independence goal. The next milestone is paying off your debts, especially student loans. You can treat each debt like its own little mini milestone, or you can treat all of your debts as one giant milestone. Paying off that last student loan was incredibly freeing. I recently got married, and now I'm helping my wife to pay down her student loans as well. So this is the next milestone for us. The next milestone that we're going to talk about is having a fully fleshed out emergency fund. How much money that you set aside is really dependent on how much you need in order to feel at peace. For many people, having 3 months of expenses set aside is enough. But if you're single or the primary breadwinner of your house, or if your job situation is a bit unstable, you might want to expand that out to 6 months of expenses. The next milestone is each additional stream of income. I would make note of every additional stream that you create. Remember, the IRS says that the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. Every source of income that you create makes you a little more free, a little less dependent on your job. The next 2 milestones go hand in hand: making your first sale in your side hustle and reaching profitability. For the first sale, congratulations, you came up with an idea and someone paid you for it. And then reaching profitability, that's a huge deal. This is the point where you're actually making money. You're able to cash flow your supplies and set aside money for taxes and cover other expenses. The next milestone is buying a car with cash. There's something incredibly empowering with knowing that you can just dip into your bank account and pay for something that costs several $1,000s with cash, a check, Bitcoin, whatever. And you don't have to frantically scramble to make sure that you have enough money in your account by the time the check clears. The next milestone, or series of milestones, is when your retirement investments reach a certain point. Maybe it's when you reach $100,000, the six-figure mark. This is a really big deal because this is when you really get to see the effects of compound interest. At 8% a year in the stock market, you're earning an average of $8,000 per year, which is enough to fully fund a Roth IRA and then some. Or maybe the goal is $1 million, the seven-figure club. At 8% of growth a year, you're earning $80,000, which for a lot of people is probably enough to retire on. The next milestone is having $1 million net worth. This actually comes before you have $1 million in your retirement account because it includes things like your house, if you have one, or other assets, cash in the bank, or other investment accounts you may have. The next milestone is buying a house. In the past, buying a house might have been a milestone for young adulthood, but now with piled up student loans and stagnating wages, buying a house is an even bigger deal now. The next milestone is having your mortgage paid off. Now, this is probably going to happen much further along in your financial independence journey, if not toward the very end, but it's still a huge moment and you need to celebrate. And the final milestone that we're going to talk about for our mindset is investing more each month than you spend. This probably means that you're really disciplined with your budget. And it also probably means that you have a really healthy income. And both of these things are amazing assets in your financial independence journey. Now you probably see what I mean when I say that a lot of these milestones can be either a mindset milestone or a money milestone. For the sake of brevity, if I've already mentioned a milestone, I'm not going to repeat it in this next section. This first milestone is zero net worth, and that's when your assets and your debts cancel each other out completely. Hopefully you'll reach this pretty early on in your financial independence journey and quickly move past it as you move on to the next milestone. This next milestone is being debt-free except the house. This means no consumer debt whatsoever. No credit cards or student loans or auto payments at all. Nothing. The next milestone is when your savings rate hits a certain percentage. 10%, 25%, more even. This is a huge deal because your savings rate is the key determining factor to how quickly you reach financial independence. Not only does it mean that you're piling up money faster and faster, but it usually also means that you're reducing your expenditures, which is a win-win. The next milestone is based around dividends. It could be your first dividend, or when you reach $100 a month or $1,000 a month. Dividend investing is a common way of creating an additional stream of income. Although most companies pay out dividends quarterly, you can just average out your amount to determine how much you're making each month, or you can keep track of your dividends on an annual basis. As you start to look more into the FIRE movement, that's financial independence, retire early, you'll start to find that a lot of their milestones are actually built around having a certain level of passive income. These last three milestones are going to be coming from that kind of mentality. The first of these three is called Baristafy, where you're earning enough passive income to cover everything except for what a part-time job can cover. So you're making enough passive income to cover all of your expenses except for maybe $15,000 to $20,000 a year. The point of this is not necessarily to quit your job and start working part-time, but it does mean that you have the opportunity to perhaps take a lower paying job that you care about more, or you can just continue on with your regular full-time job and continue to save even faster. The second of these milestones is called Coast-Fi. That's when you have enough money that even if you don't add anything else to your retirement nest egg, by the time you reach age 65, you'll have enough to retire on indefinitely. This isn't enough money to retire on now, but because you don't have to continue to save at the same increased rate, you're able to enjoy more of your income now. Due to the nature of compounding interest, even if you're not planning on retiring early, this is a goal that's good to aim for while you're young. And of course, the final milestone in this journey is actually reaching financial independence. This doesn't mean that you have to retire, but it means that you have the ability to if you want to, and that is true financial freedom. Okay, that was a lot of different milestones, and I know there were a whole bunch that I left out. Was there a specific milestone that really resonated with you? The more that I think about it, I realize that Coast-Fi is actually a really appealing goal. You really dial in and focus for a little while, and then once you reach your number, you're able to ease up and enjoy a little bit of your income, knowing that your financial future is secure. As always, if you liked what I had to say, give me a thumbs up. In the next video, we're going to be talking about course correcting along the journey. Hit subscribe and the bell icon so you don't miss it, and I'll see you next time.